Hello everybody, this is Mithril Zenith, and I have something new. This is a map right now. No, this is my personal high fantasy variant hack, whatever, of the Stars Without Numbers faction turn system. The Stars Without Numbers faction system really intrigued me, but I normally run more high fantasy tabletop games rather than science fiction, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try to take this down, still keep the same stats, the same ideas, whatever with that, but just kind of change it to be something more high fantasy variants. Now this is a particular high fantasy with more magic, like mages, as opposed to either ultra high fantasy with like tameable mythical beasts, or like a low fantasy or more historical thing like King Arthur, where mages are a lot more rare, or maybe there's not like organized spells and whatnot. And there's not too much of that. It's vague enough. In fact, the system itself is vague enough that most things worked anyway, but there's just a few changes. Anyway, this is a trial run, a test of it. Normally this goes kind of between sessions, but hey, with this one, I think I'll just run several turns of it and see how it goes. Make sure everything works well. Some concerns I have, first of all, because Stars Without Number is a very slow game, as in moving around takes a lot of time. Like every hex sector jump is about a week in game time. That makes sense for the faction turn to happen every month, because months go by pretty quickly. On average, like one per session or so, give or take. However, that much time doesn't usually pass every session in a fantasy thing, because you're not hopping such great distances. You're like, okay, maybe moving around a town or two. So I figure, this is up to discretion, of course, but you could probably make this be every week instead of every month. I don't know. It really depends. Second issue I might have is that the map, you can't really fit a lot of things into a single hex unless you do a map that's way zoomed out. So if you're doing something a little more like this, where you have, fairly a decent topography to it, you might need to, I don't know, some of the movement might be a little too slow. I don't know, we'll see. Again, it's something that I'm getting through and testing, and I figured, some of my friends showed interest in it, I'm gonna record it and find out. Okay, so I tried to record me making all the factions, but it kind of fell apart at the very end, and, well, Active Presenter crashed, so it was stupid and a jerk, and failed on me. So I lost that recording, but I do have all of my factions. I'm just using 8 right now: Epithumia, Phobos, Illipi, Thysia, Mysos, Thelsi, Curaio, and Sukal's followers. So you have some kingdoms here: Epithumia, Illipi, Mysos, and Thysia a kingdom? No, Thelsi was a kingdom. You have Thysia, which is like a trade guild of traders, merchants. Curaio, which is a group of mercenaries. Phobos, which is kind of a, not quite cult, but underground organization, association, whatever, what have you. No real face per se to it, but definitely something to look out for. And they have Sukal's followers, which is the more religious group. Basically, they've seen, if the kingdoms keep fighting, they're going to tear each other apart, so they're trying to, gather them together and unite them so they don't keep fighting. So that's interesting. So they're a little more theocratic here. So I have all the tags. One important thing I did before doing all this, though, I wrote down a little summary. Okay, just kind of write my ideas down of all these different places, who they are, what they are. So Epithumia is the more wealthy kingdom, see monetary gain. Phobos is a hidden society seeking to undermine the other kingdoms and then rule from the chaos. Illippi is a kingdom that was recovering from like a violent plague, so they're kind of recovering, destroyed, recovering, so they're a little weaker. Thysia, which is just a merchanting guild. Mysos, which is a warlike kingdom seeking to conquer everything. Thalesi is the wise kingdom, kind of like a benevolent rulers, whatever. Kuraio is a mercenary band, and Sakal's followers is a religious group. So as you can see, a fairly decent number of factions. On the map, whoops, that is not the map. That is not the map either. Where am I going? Here's the map. Yeah, on the map you see, okay, we have different little bits and pieces here and there. All these little houses are kind of unclaimed areas, because that's another thing with the Stars Without Number system, is that you can only place a base of influence on planets, and a lot of hexes are empty space. So in a map like this, you might say, oh, well, a lot of them, like most places, you could just set up a base there and decide whatever. I decided, no, you have to kind of do something with an established town, or at least an outpost, maybe, to set up like a base of influence. Otherwise, I mean, you could set up like a trap or send troops in the middle of nowhere, but meh. Okay. Yeah, was there anything else I want to talk about, or should we just get going? This could work much better, I'd say. It's quite easy, I guess, to mod this for like an ocean. So like just islands separated by a lot of ocean, because space and seafaring have a lot of overlap there. Less so with over land, but I mean, you could do it like in a desert, and then they have like oases, and those are where only really the cities are. There's a little bit of that here. You have the oasis with several different things around it, but oh well. Okay, well, enough talk. What was this? Okay. Yeah, here's the kingdom assets, here's the kingdoms themselves. So, let's get to it. First things first, roll a die with the smallest die with a number equal to or greater than the number of factions you have. And then that will decide whatever, and then you kind of go in whatever order they are in your list. Like, I should probably be able to randomize the list, but, I haven't done that yet, so let's just go with this for the first turn. And, wow, it is a 1. So, we start with Epithumia. Now, okay, Epithumia is a plutocratic kingdom. They're pretty big, more wealth-focused. Their goal is commercial expansion, destroy enemy wealth assets. You see in the little spreadsheet, Epithumia, they have a monopoly. Okay, they have the base of influence on 501, which is this kingdom here. They're kind of owning this little oasis, and they're trying to kick people out. Like, for example, the Merchanting Guild. What's their name? Thysia. Yeah, they're trying to kick Thysia out of their oases. As shown by their goal, commercial expansion, they want to kind of open up their trade routes, and crush all opposition, further solidify the monopoly. So they have a monopoly in their home city along the base of influence. They have a trade route that can move stuff around. They have some professional soldiers guarding their city, and then they've mobilized some privateers, actually. And you know what? Force versus wealth, and their goal is commercial expansion, destroy enemy wealth assets. They're going to try to, well, crush some enemy wealth assets. We have 603 right here, and that's where the privateers are. They're just a little bit out. So these are some, some hired bandits, hired goons, whatever, meant to kind of smuggle off supplies and really hurt the economy of the enemy's area. Okay, so privateers are a Force 5 unit, mobile units, When they successfully hit an enemy faction asset, they steal 1d4 fat creds. Oh, that's an important thing. Starting their turn, they get their income, which is 5 fat creds. Faction credits. It seems more sci-fi, but really it's not like actual money per se. It's money, food, supplies, whatever. Okay. So, we're going to start out, and they are in position to launch an attack on Thysia. They're attacking with their privateers. Thysia, force versus wealth. They'll block with their trade route. Okay. So, trade route is a facility that will deal 1d6 damage on a counterattack. So, we're going to see how this goes. Do they have any bonuses? Ooh, Epithumia can add 1d10 to one wealth attack. Well, add 1d10. It's roll an additional die, as I just looked up. Yeah, roll an additional die and take the higher results. Basically, it's like having advantage on the roll. And Thysia, it may roll an additional 1d10 when defending against wealth attacks. So they each roll 2d10 and take the better results. 2d10 adds their... What type of attack is it? Okay, so Epithumia adds their force. Wait. Oh, they're not attacking with wealth, so they only get 1 die instead of 2. And they add their force, so 5 plus 1d10, which rolls off the table. And that one rolls off the table, and we're all very sad. Okay. Oh, 1. So they only get a 6. So then, Thysia is defending with wealth. So they add 4 to this. Another 1. That's 5. So, where did the other die go? Oh well, I'll find it later. So, somehow, despite, being pretty sad, the privateers are successful. The privateers, I guess, like, okay, the bandits are stopping up, attacking their trade route. Whatever, seems pretty legit. So, on a successful attack, they deal 1d6 damage. Ooh. And they deal 3. Okay. So, where is this? Thysia trade route is down to 7 out of 10. Okay. Oh, and a successful attack. They steal 1d4 fat creds. 4. Ouch. That really hurts. Here's the question. What happens when they can't... I have this up just in case. What happens if they can't pay? Force assets... This is based off of the strike fleets. Security personnel. Let's say Force 5 blockade fleet. It's based off the blockade fleet. They hit an enemy, they steal 1d4 from faction as well. As an action, they may also move. Okay, so I guess they just... It doesn't say anything like... Okay, here's the problem thing, because this is the first faction turn, they technically don't have any money, but they technically should be going all at the same time, so... What's their income, anyway? Illippi... Oh, wait, no, that might not have happened, because they get to roll an extra d10 in defense. Oh, and they roll a 7, so they succeed, so they don't take that damage. Yeah, this is me being stupid. Instead, they return, and their counterattack deals 1d6. 4. Oh. So in this case, the privateers tried to kind of attack, smuggle, they were caught, arrested, whatever. They're hit quite hard, their cohesion's down. Maybe they don't really like the Epithumia anymore so much. They're pretty hurt. Nice save there, kind of. Oh man, I really want to know where that red die went. It's probably under here somewhere. No, whatever. I'll get it later. Get it later. Okay. Anyway, so, yeah. I should write down kind of a turn log. turn 1. Wait, actually no. Turn 4, turn 5. Let's just do that. Bold all this. Nope, 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 not right. Bold all that. Thumia. Phobos, Lippy, Thysia, Mysos, Belsi, Kurayo, oh, there, there, Sika, okay, turn 1, how do I turn on word wrap? Yeah, let's just do that. In fact, let's wrap all this text. There we go, that's a little easier to read. Tact Thysian. That's what this is missing. I forgot to turn on the music. Yep. Just a little fancy mix to keep this up, starting with some Warcraft 2. Attack Thysian trade route with privateers. Okay. That's what happened. Okay, next up is Phobos. Phobos is a fun one. Their goal is to blood the enemy, deal damage equal to this faction's total force, cunning, and wealth. And they are secretive, so all their assets begin stealthed. What do they have? They're at 509, but they have Seditionists and Arcane Assassins in 608. And 608 is... Oh, close that. Curse you, Java, I don't care. 608, yep, that is right here. Their base is right here, they're kind of secretive, and then they have some people already invading 608. 608 is where Felsi is. So, now Felsi, what do they have? Pretty big as well. Party Machine. Wind Whispers. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. Yeah, they're going to attack with their Seditionists. Sure, it's a force asset, but they attack Cunning versus Cunning. No, Arcane Assassins. Whoops, not Seditionists. They're Arcane Assassins. Cunning versus Cunning. Deal 2d6 plus 2 if they're successful. Felsi. What type of thing is Felsi? Yeah, they don't have any special bonus to defense, but they're able to defend with, okay, either their party mission... Oh, before I forget, Phobos gets their fat creds. Not spending any because they want to attack, because their goal is to bring ruin upon the world. They have some high-level mages sitting around in Felsi, and they're going to use them. Okay, so Arcane Assassins. I don't know if they started stealth and purchased. They just have a straight attack. But it was a cunning asset that... Ah, come on. We're not in the right place. Cunning assets. Which was... Okay, Wind Whisperer, if they succeed in defending, can immediately cause the attacking asset to attack itself for normal damage and counterattack consequences. I think that's how it works. Let me check. That's what I wrote it down as. This is the tracked comms. I think, yes. If it succeeds in defending it, yeah, cause the attack itself for normal damage and counterattack consequences. So that is odd, but okay. Well, let's see if they do it. Yeah. Phobos is attacking with a cunning of 6. It helps if I don't lose my dice all the time. Ooh, 7, no, 9. Wow, 9 plus 6, 15. And then Felsi is defending with a cunning of 5, so they have to roll max just to tie. What? They do roll max, so they tie. And that is odd, which means on a tie, both the attack and the counterattack go through. Okay, so first of all, because they attacked, the Arcane Assassins are no longer stealthed. But because they attacked, they deal 2d6 plus 2, 5 and 3, 8 plus 2 is 10, directly to the Wind Whisperer that Felsi blocked with. But Felsi's, at the same time, they get the special counter attack, so this is interesting. Basically, like, realistically, like, this is just numbers, but how it goes down. Phobos has some assassins, they hear, okay, they have some mages that are good at sending information, let's take those out. They go in, they try to take him out, they do, but in the process there's some miscommunication, and they are attacking themselves now, so I guess they attack and defend. Their attack is a 1, lucky for them, and then they defend with a 4. So they just counterattack themselves, and Arcane Assassins have no counterattack. So, yeah, there's some hecticness, possibly some losses, but no, they clean it up. Nothing too bad happens. And the Wind Whisperers, wow, they are just wiped out. Boom. Dead. That really hurts. But, blood the enemy, it gets them closer to their goal. How do I comment? Edit the comment. They have dealt 6 damage. I don't think it overflows. So let me check. Okay, actions? No, these are... Yeah, actions are up here, above. Assets, faction turn, attack, action during a turn, actions, attack. Launch an attack, once matched. Defending, added, cunning, whatever. Attack will exceeds. Oh, if the defender has a base of influence on the world, the defender may opt to let the damage bypass the asset and hit the base instead. Yeah, they don't like losing their stuff. They're gonna do that instead. So instead, the base takes 10 damage. So, here's what happens. Phobos tries to kill the Wind Whisperers. They almost are successful, but the Wind Whisperers escape, but there's mass terror, blows up some stuff, maybe that they didn't want blown up, and a lot of people are now doubting Felsi as a safe kingdom. They're pretty scared. So yeah, their base of influence has just taken 10 damage, and that's their homeworld, so pretty bad for them. But pretty good for Phobos, because they want to blood the enemy, and they dealt their full 10 damage. Which means they're pretty close to leveling up after the... Well, not leveling up fully, but getting experience after the first turn. So, turn 1 for Phobos. Attacked. Felsian. Arcane Assassins. 6, Success dealt 10 damage to base of influence. Okay. Illippi. Illippi is next. They are 105. So Illippi is all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. They are deep-rooted, add 1d10 to any defense roll within their home city, and they want to be peaceful. They're just trying to recover. So Illippi, what type of assets do they have? They have militia and harvesters. Yeah, not too good. They're gonna run their harvesters. Harvesters are a d6. On a 4+, they get an extra fat cred for the turn. Ooh, and it's a 6. So they do. So they get their 2 income, because they're pretty small, but then they get their bonus, so they have 3 fat creds now. So good for Illippi. Okay. But yeah, so basically they just got over the plague, they're recovering. They just want to be peaceful. They're harvesting from the forest, they're getting their farms back in order. It's a pretty good day to be in Illippi, I guess, all things considered. Thysia. Thysia is also trying to be peaceful, trying to be a peaceful kingdom, because they're an exchange consulate, so they can get bonus experience for that, and they're really good at defending their wealth. So they get an income of 3. What do Thysia have? They have a trade route, give them a special action, and then they have blackmail tactic. Let's see what that does. It's wealth. A trade route I know lets them move at the cost of some money. Yeah. 1 fat cred per asset, move within 2 hexes of the trade route. Any non-force asset. And then these, what's it called? The blackmail is a cunning asset. Can be used to selectively degrade the effectiveness of an enemy asset. Any attempt to attack or defend against blackmail loses any bonus dice earned by tags. That is good. Wait, am I even reading the right thing? Yes, I am. Okay. Thysia. So as part of a peaceable kingdom, what do they have? They have 3 fat creds. Is that enough to buy anything? They have 1 force, 3 cunning, 4 wealth. False front, smugglers. Yeah. Here's something that they can do, I think. Yeah, they're allowed up to their rating of in number of assets. They're going to purchase an asset. They're going to purchase a false front. Basically, okay, they trying to think RP-wise, in character. They're going to purchase a false front. So, they've taken some... Well, they've been targeted. They kind of know a little bit who's targeting them. Kind of have for a little while, but... Yeah, so they're going to set up some false leads to their trade route. Maybe plan some extra little side courses that aren't really there. Circulate some maps, false information. Pretty good stuff. False front costs 1... and is hit point 2. So we're going to add this to insert 1 above. Yes. No, it's not Illippi, it's Thysia. Grr. Insert 1 above. Thysia. Oops, that caps lock. Ah, this is not working. Saios purchases a cunning asset of a false front. 2 hit points. It is a... what was it, a facility? logistics facility. It has no attack and no defense, I believe, yeah. And it's special, and it is also at 603. Here we are. I should have city names for all these. If I was doing this in character, I would, but unfortunately I don't. So, yeah. And that cost, how much was it? Was it 1 or was it 2? Cost 1. So down to 2 fat creds. Okay, now it's Mysos. Mysos. They are Imperialists. They are a ruling government at 1308. They're this really big, imposing kingdom on the hills, kind of separated from everyone else. And their idea right now is to expand their influence, place a base of influence in a new city. Difficulty is 1, plus 1 if opposed. What type of assets do they have? They have the ability, first of all, they get their fat creds, they get their 5. Yeah, they're Imperialists, so when they try to seize a city, they add 1d10 to all their attacks. Assets, here they are. Mysos. A mounted regiment, they have an extended theater, a medical center, and a bank. Okay, they are going to, how does the extended theater work exactly? Theater, non-mobile unit assets. The theater itself can be moved between any 2 cities within 2 hex of the theater at a cost of 1 fat cred. Yeah. Any 1? Yes, okay. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to move the extended theater to 1107. That way, how should I mark this? Village, town, battle. Let's mark with a point of interest. Okay. 1107. And that will cost them 1 fat cred. That means that and it only allows for 1 per turn. But that means next turn, they'll be able to leapfrog their mounted regiment over into this little unoccupied city right across the bridge, take control, and complete, well, not quite, I guess. Because they need to take a 3rd action to actually set up the whatever. But yeah, they're pretty close, actually, to expanding their influence decent sized base. Okay, next we have Thelsey. Now Thelsey just got hit pretty hard. Okay, Thelsey starts off, they get 6 fat creds, pretty wealthy. Preceptor Archive, technical 4 and higher assets, cost 1 less fat cred to produce, and they may spend 2 fat creds to teach a city's population on a 1 in 12 chance that whatever they are permanently becomes TL4. Where they are is TL4 already, so it doesn't really matter, but you know, that's another thing I really need to do. I need to kind of write down the tech levels of all these different keep doing that. All these different areas. So it's like, okay, the major cities are TL4 already, 4 or 5, whatever. Let's just say like 5, 5, 4, whatever. I'd say the rest of these are like 4, maybe 3? I don't know. And then if they're like in the wasteland area, maybe it's like 2. In this instance, I wouldn't say tech level per se, because it's a little more sci-fi and it's a little more like, depending on the worlds. But I will say kind of like, okay, position. Logistically, how can you raise an army if you can't even feed enough people in the town to survive? So, yeah, I'd say more like the lower quality region it is. Like, this would be like 2. This is like a 4, but just barely. 3 or 4, 4. Yeah, all the home worlds are 4, but maybe. But maybe this is like a 3 area. They're kind of far away. Or maybe this is like a 3 or whatever, because they're not really nearby anything. Maybe this is like another 2 because they're like on the edge of the swamps. So that's something I need to figure out. Okay. But their goal is Wealth of Worlds. Spend money equal to 4 times their wealth rating. So 24 fat creds. To gain experience, but then they can't take it again until wealth improves. What do they have? Well, they have 6 wealth. But they'll see, what do they have? They have the Wind Whisperers. Oh. They have a party machine. Venture capital, which they could use to get money. They have commodities broker, which they can use to save money on their next purchase. But actually, they just found out they have Arcane Assassins in their midst, and they don't like that. They're going to use their party machine, which is basically the ruling government, can throw down the fist, use propaganda, just information, inform the public, all that fun stuff. They're going to throw that down against, what does even they have? They have Seditionists and Arcane Assassins. Can Seditionists defend? Do they have Force asset? No, they are a Cunning asset. Saboteurs. Seditionists. For cost of 1d4, they can attach themselves to an enemy asset, and until they attach to a different one or no longer share the same city, the asset cannot attack. So that's an action, a special action, but... Whisper... Yeah, they're just gonna attack with the party machine. Bring down the hammer, try to oust these people, get them forced out of the city, force them... lynch mobs, whatever. Ooh, they attack with a 1. That is not good for them. So a 1 is... okay, plus their cunning. It's cunning versus cunning. So basically, if they roll a 1 and they don't, they roll a 5. Yeah. So, I should write this down, what they did. Mysos moved Extended Theater to 1107. Felsi attack. Failed, but no counterattack. Korayo. Okay. But yeah, so they attack. They try to rally the people, whatever. People are frightened, people don't want to mess with that type of stuff. They saw the explosions, they're like, no, I don't care. And the assassins slowly slink away. Yeah, back into the darkness. They're no longer stealth. They know that they're there somewhere, but they can't really get a grasp on them. Okay, Korayo. Mercenary group that are trying to blood the enemy as well. But, however, they are allied with Sikal, so they're not just going to invade Sikal and kill all the people. That's not something they're kind of into. So, yeah, they're a mercenary group, but they're not, like... I don't know, they're trying to prove themselves against big targets. They're not trying to, just slaughter innocent people. That's not really in their pay grade. They're not getting paid for that. Okay, speaking of getting paid, they get 3 fat creds. As a mercenary group, they can have free action to move all their things 1 hex. Have some skilled laborers. Not a free action, like a whatever, but it's like as their action, they can choose to move all of their people 1 hex, or as many as they want to. They have their base of influence at 805, so right here, these tents, whatever. They have their professional soldiers, which, I mean, they're interested in getting into some battles here. What's nearby? We have open area, we have this over here, we have all the trade stuff going on. But we actually have some crazy wizard stuff happening over here. So, where did the movement thing? Yeah, they're going to move their... Was that 806? Yeah. They are going to move their soldiers down to 806. See what the heck is going on down in Telsey. And you have Sakal's followers. Okay. Yes. Move soldiers to 806. Sakal gains 2 income, because they're again a pretty small poor group. Like Theocratic, gain defense against cunning attacks, and they get a bonus if they launch no attacks. Okay. For the current assets, they have harvesters, so despite kind of being in the desert hills, they have some way of scrounging up supplies and whatnot. And Vanguard cadres, who are, keeping the peace right now. I'd say, they're just going to use their harvesters. They're going to try to get some more supplies before they really do anything else. And that is a 4. They do succeed. Sorry, I don't really have a cam so you can see the dice rolls, but they do succeed, meaning they get an extra fat crit. Oh, no, that is not how you spell. Operate harvesters, success 1 fat crit. Okay, sounds good. And is that really the end? Wow, that is the end of the first turn. Only took 41 minutes. Yeah. And normally that would be the end, and then we'd have like another session or whatever, unless there's some big stuff happening. But for this, because I'm not actually running this alongside live sessions, just a test, I'm going to run some more stuff again. So, once again, with the D8 to see who goes first. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saios is acting first. Oh, 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that. We are back. And it was turn 5. Turn 2 for number 5. Saios once again moves. They get 5 fat creds, bringing the total up to 9. They want to expand their influence. Oh, there's a nice bridge town right here for them. They just moved their extended theater last turn. So they are going to leapfrog over their... What are they called? Their mounted regiment is going to use that extended theater's ability and move all the way over to... What was the number? 907. Regiment is now in 907, and that will cost them another fat cred. Feed the forces, mobilize them, whatever. Where was it? Yeah, 9, so they're down to 8. But they're really close to expanding their influence. Right there. They're going to get another forward base of operations, then they can launch their attacks through that. So that'll be fun for them. 907. Yep. 907. Sounds good. Next up is Telsey. Telsey gets 6 more fat creds. Up to 12. Oops, their tag is not 8. Their tag is... What the heck? Why did this happen? Pages, pages, pages of stuff. Faction tag was Pluto. Preceptor Archive. I have no idea what to rename that as. Okay. Yeah, they're getting richer. They're getting close to their goal, but they're not quite there yet. And you know what? They still have some Arcane Assassins to deal with. I think they're just going to try again with their party machine to try and oust those... where's the D10? To try and oust those Arcane Assassins. Again, they roll a 1, and is that the same roll as last time? They roll a 1, Arcane Assassins roll a 5 to defend. Yeah. Arcane Assassins, luckily for them, don't have counterattacks, but they're still slippery. They can't get caught and arrested and whatever. They just keep slipping away. They're too magical. Failed, no counter. Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to, what's it called? Phobos could, have the Seditionists step in to, kind of take the hit for them, but they're wanting to keep them stealthed, and they not really want to lose them right now, so yeah. In fact, they need a way of moving their people in, don't they? They have bolt holes, they're good defended, but they're not, yeah. Okay, anyway, whatever, that's Celsi's turn. Kurayo is... what's their goal again? Okay, Kurayo gains 3 more, so up to 6. He's trying to blood the enemy. What enemy is there to blood? Yeah, they're right here. They still hear word of Arcane Assassins, so I guess they're going there. Let's move them to 706, actually. They're kind of trekking along down here to check what's up. Pretty slow, but they can fend for themselves. 7 and 6. Okay. Sooner or later, they are going to have that fight. Wait, do they know? How close is that? Yeah, they're actually going to go to 807 because they've heard actually of a commotion around 907, because this stuff isn't stealth. The other, I know, word can travel about that. That's not a big deal, so... was it 807? I don't even know. Yeah, it was, because it's column row. Yep, so... moved soldiers to 807. They're gonna find out what's up. Oh boy, are they gonna find out what's up. Okay, yeah. Sikal is... they get 2 more fat creds, so they got 5 now. Peaceful Kingdom. Oh wait, that should go to... you know what? I got it in my mind. At turn 4, if they haven't attacked yet, they're good. Oh, what do they have anyway? Cadres, Harvesters. Could they buy anything else? They're 4 cunning, 3 force, 1 wealth. I could get a 4-star cunning asset if they can afford one. They currently have cunning, and they have a wealth asset. Any harvesters? Yeah. Let's say they have a... that doesn't make sense. Why? Whatever. I'm talking to myself, thinking to myself. Yeah, they're gonna get a transport convoy. Are they? No, that takes TL4. I don't know. I'll figure out the tech level stuff later, because that doesn't make any sense why they couldn't, but they still could. Like, I mean, I'll count the area as TL4. Yes, it's in the desert, but they have the resources. They got people. So yeah, that costs 4. So they now only have one fat cred, but now they add a force transport convoy. 6, I believe. Yes. Facility with no attack, and I believe no counter. Yeah, no counter. Give a special action, and that is at 704. That's to be purchased at their base. Okay. Top of the list. Epithumia is... where are they? Okay, they had their privateers pretty much wrecked. Yeah. Actually, here's the thing. It said somewhere that, like, if you use a special ability, you can use all special abilities of all things. Even if they're different things, but then, like, all the same thing have to activate at once. Is there anything, any discrepancies with past movements before? Attacks. Do they have anything else that's in range? No. They attacked. They could have... darn, they could have attacked with their citizens as well, but oh well. Attacked that. Do they have any other things that they could attack with? They'll see. Yeah, that's not attack, and that's versus wealth attacks. So I don't think that can work. I need to look this up. Okay, can things attack things that aren't the same type of thing? Yeah, if your special assets in any order, each form of asset must be used all at the same time. Gives the example of heavy drop assets for a monopoly. Use the monopoly and heavy drop assets back. You can't do that, but you could move the heavy drop assets and then the monopoly. All targets must be on the same world, unless specified otherwise. All targets must be on the same. Test against infection. Action assets. Where does it list the attack action? Okay. Chief also needs known assets. Selects one or more of their own assets or assets on the same world. One time, each attack is matched, something chosen by the defender. Each asset can only act once per turn, though a defending asset can defend as many times as they wish. It's matched. They roll d10 and they're relevant. Force v force. Attack against force when the defender add their force defender inside. Huh. Interesting. So I think they could have done like a massive attack using even their wealth to attack that. Oh well, no ex post facto. We're gonna roll that. But yeah, that is good to know. That is very good to know, actually. The Lippy could have maybe if they had whatever. Anyway, this is going on too long. Who was acting? I don't even know. Epithumia. Epithumia gains 5 fat creds, bringing them up to 10. Commercial expansion isn't going so well. But they can use a lot of special abilities this turn. So they don't attack, but they use abilities instead. So they could trade route and then Okay. Yeah. They're going to, because they're using special abilities, trade route their non-force asset. Yeah, okay, they trade route their monopoly asset within 2 hexes. 1, 2. Yep, it's right there. Gonna go around, go through whatever the oasis. Yeah. So their monopoly is now 3 to 3. Do they have to spend a fat cred for that? I don't remember. 1 fat cred per asset. So yes, they spend 1. Down to 9. And then their monopoly activates. Force one other fractal unself assets on that world to pay them 1 fat cred. If they cannot pay, they lose 1 asset of their choice. So they're just going to bleed them dry. Bleed Thysia dry. Oh. Okay. Wait, that was Thysia, right? Yes. Why do they have less fat creds? Or anyway, did they buy something? I don't quite remember. Thysia... Yeah, they bought the false front. Okay. Yeah, so they pay that... And basically they had to pay for the monopoly to get shipped over into their area, so they're not looking too hot. But to complete their goal, they gotta, they gotta comply. They gotta keep up the facade that, okay, we're fine with this, we're just gonna cooperate, everything's gonna be good. Yeah, tough, hard knock life for them. Phobos has some actions ready. They have Stealth Seditionists and Stealth Arcane Assassins, but first they get their fat creds, and boy will they need them. Because... Okay, what do they have? Because it looks like actually they could attack, yes, it'd be like wealth versus wealth, but they'd be able to attack like non-wealth assets. Say, they'd just be defending with wealth. Like that's an instance. Phobos doesn't have that. Phobos has cunning versus cunning and force versus force. Most of its stuff is back in its secret base in the forest, but yeah, they got some Arcane Assassins they can strike out with. Thelsi, I think, will once again try to defend with their Wind Whisperer. Thelsi's not been very successful as of late, so they kind of need this. The attack is that's not the right die. I don't think they can defend against this. Yeah, the attack is a 9, and the defense is only a 5. So, yeah, their attack deals 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 2, 2d6 plus 2, 11 damage. Oh, does Thelsi... Like, they blocked with the Wind Whisper. They have to let it hit the Whisper, otherwise they take way too much damage to their base of influence. Yeah, they let it go. The attack hits, and that attack is successful. Boom. And that means... Wait, but that's not an attack, that's a special ability, so they can only do that. So they're leaving their assassins out to dry, but they wiped the Whisperer off the map. So... yeah. Edit... They completed their quest. That is resolved. And so they get 2 experience for that. Next turn we'll see if they can spend that. Actually, let's just copy... Actually, no, we can't. Killed Wind Whisperer. Boom. So, with that, they have completed their objective there, for now. Completed Flood the Enemy. Got some experience. Next turn, they can choose a new goal, and we'll go from there. But it's not their turn anymore, it's Illipi. They get 2 fat creds. They are a peaceable kingdom. Right now. They are deep-rooted, so they're good at defending themselves. You know, I'm sure by now everyone's heard of what the heck is going on in Thelsey. Thelsey's pretty not in a good place right now. And Libby, okay. They have militia, harvesters. Can they buy anything better right now? Okay, what's their limitations? 4 force, 3 cunning, 1 wealth. So they can't get any wealth assets because they already have their harvesters. They could get a cost, was it 5 that they have? Yeah, they could get like a cunning asset or wealth asset that costs 5 or less. Could stealth something. They could get some blackmail on someone. Could get some saboteurs. No, doesn't seem quite their style. What is their style anyway? They want to recover, they want to get back on their feet, they want to ensure people that they are a solid force and they're not going anywhere. Zealots, cunning trap. They trap though, I don't even know. You know, maybe they want to move around. Maybe they want to get a transport convoy. That seems like a popular idea right now, but you know, it works. Move any whatever at the cost of 1 fat cred. Yeah, seems legit. Yeah, they are going to do the exact same thing as Call is doing, just in a different area. What did they do? And again, oh yeah, moved. Okay. And Illipi will buy what was it called? A transport convoy. They bought it at 704. Purchase transport convoy at where are they? 105. Okay. And to wrap it up, we have Thysia. Oh, what does Thysia do? Their exchange consulate. They want to be peaceful. They really want that peace of mind, but okay, they get their income. They're eating it right now. They're getting invaded by a monopoly, and I should probably add. Yeah, 606. Yeah, we're gonna need to pause again, so be right back. We're gonna be right back, and then we're gonna finish up this turn, and that's it. Hello everybody, I'm back. Okay, finish up this video with the post commentary from this point. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the last bit of turn 2, and that's gonna be it. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on to it. Where did we leave off? Well, Thysia still needs their turn 2. So, let's get going. Okay, so Thysia is an exchange consulate, so they really want to keep their peaceable kingdom, which means they have to not launch any attacks. The problem with that is, well, they have a monopoly and privateers both invading them. Yeah. So, with that, yeah, they have a false front. They can't really do much. Actually, they're probably going to buy something. So I'm going to go over here, look at Thysia, that's Celsi, Thysia, yeah. Okay, they have pretty much enough to buy. Yeah, they have 1 wealth and 2 cunning assets, so they could buy anything with that, like, up to their number 1, 3, or 4. They haven't reached their limits. Yeah, just as long as they have enough money for it. So, looking through here, and what go well for them? Any wealth assets that are useful? Maybe, I don't know, this is kind of, yeah, I spent some time looking here, and maybe harvesters? No, not really. Maybe, actually, yeah, I came up with an idea. Yeah, they're gonna buy a franchise here, because once they are able to successfully attack with it, after these 4 turns are up, they're gonna be able to drain some fat creds from the Epithumia. Yeah. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna buy a franchise for 2 fat creds, take them down to 2. They're not going to go down to 1 or less. They're not gonna go that far, because just in case the monopoly tries working overtime, they want to have a fat cred in stock so they don't get, well, so they don't get bankrupt and have to sacrifice one of their assets. Okay, so we go down here, mark up Thysia with a, gotta insert a line above. So, yep, there we are. Thysia has a new wealth asset, a franchise, 3 hit points. It is a facility, yes. It has, it's a wealth versus wealth attack for 1d4 minus 1. It also has a counter attack that is 1d4 minus 1 as well. So it's not good at dealing damage, but it steals fat creds, and it's a tier 1 thing that costs 2 that steals fat creds, so it's pretty good that way. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this little hack that I've made. I will play some more in a later video when I get a chance. Till then, we've had 2 turns, and this is Mythos